trying to present what the composer thought and felt, and not what we feel like doing. And that is a moral responsibility to the composer, because these were very great men, all men so far. If we are allowed to play the music, our responsibility is to try to understand what they wanted in the music and to try to play it as they would have wanted it, as far as we can tell. I don't want a young artist to play differently in order to play differently. You understand? We cannot help being different because every person is different. But I want to hear that that person is trying to represent the composer as well as that person can do it. We all go through that to imitate our masters. And little by little, we become more individual and see things more. I mean, I think it's, in a way, it's inevitable that a student should imitate his teacher. But I don't ask them to do it. I don't want them to do it. I want to give them the tools that eventually they will come to their own conclusion, a responsible conclusion. It robs the student of their direct contact with the composer. In other words, it's a kind of a lazy way out. You want to play it faster or slower, and then you see this Mr. Horowitz play it faster or slower, and therefore, but you have no relation with the composer, and also the individuality of the artist is submerged, because you're trying to imitate Horowitz or one of the great artists, and your own feeling about the music is not there. And so I feel that it's very important to go directly to the music and have your relationship with what the composer wrote, and not what somebody else thinks the composer wrote, because it can be right, it can be wrong, and it can be the result of a personality of someone else, not yours. So I'm very much against that. But everyone does it, but I frown on it. You see, I don't see a cultural barrier. Music is music, and if someone here's a powerful piece of music, I think that whether you are Chinese or whether you're American, I don't see that there's a barrier. What is different, at least up until very recently, is that the Asian students don't have as much exposure to other kinds of music, to songs and to operas and so on, and that is really very important for their understanding of even of piano music. And I tell my
Chinese student?
Yes, yeah, oh yes, lots of them. I mean, actually, a large percentage of the applicants are Chinese. We have enormous numbers of them, and what I try to get them to understand, the tradition there is to work very hard at playing the piano and practice and practice and practice. But what I try to convince them is that it's very important to know other kinds of music, songs and operas and symphonies, so that you get that kind of insight. Now, I suppose that answers your other question. You get a certain kind of insight into music altogether from exposure to others. I used to play songs all the time and operas and so on, and to get the feeling of the human voice and try to reproduce that on the piano, that is very useful.